Hey everybody, welcome to the Southwest Hiking Guide. My name is Kent.
And I'm Alyssa.
And today we're going to tell you about a hike on Bill Williams Mountain in Williams, Arizona. We're going to rate certain aspects of this hike on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best.
We're going to rank this hike based on difficulty, as well as things like access, trail conditions, and even the views at the top. So if you're looking to hike this mountain, stay tuned and we'll let you know all about it. Bill Williams Trail is about 7.5 miles out and back, and it would take approximately 4 to 5 hours to complete. It does have a fair amount of elevation gain, with 2,300 feet of elevation gain. However, it is spread out over quite a long stretch, so it is a bit more gradual. The top of the mountain is approximately 9,256 feet above sea level, so it is a bit higher than in the valley of Phoenix. It's a bit higher elevation, so the air is a little bit thinner, but not terrible.
This is a very gradual hike in the beginning with some steeper switchbacks near the end. I would recommend 3 liters of water at the minimum because it is rather shady, but it is 7.5 miles and in higher altitude, so you may need that 3 liters. I would rate the difficulty at a 6.5. I think it's harder near the top, but I also think it's very gradual and shaded, and you have some time to get that elevation gain over the 7.5 miles.
So I do agree with Kent. It is a very gradual climb up the mountain. However, I give it a 7.5, just because it is so long, and the end of the hike is pretty strenuous. I remember being pretty tired near the end, and it is a longer hike. So I think it's a bit harder than a 6.5, personally.
The access to the trailhead is very easy to get to, just south of the town of Williams. There's plenty of parking there with a bathroom and even a basketball hoop where we got a little hoops in at the end of our hike while we were waiting for others. I would rate the access a 9.0. Like I said, just lots of parking, lots of space.
So for me, I personally rate the access a little lower, about an 8, just because there is a dirt road that you have to take to get there. So if you have a car that's pavement only, unfortunately there is just a tiny small stretch of gravel or dirt road that you do need to get to. We did have someone driving a little Lexus in our party that made it just fine, but if you don't want to be driving off pavement, then you might want to take a different vehicle.
The trail conditions at Bill Williams Mountain are pretty good. It's a well-marked trail and easy to identify. I like the trail because it's shady in most parts. Large aspen trees, large pine trees. A camera doesn't do justice to the size of those pine trees. I would give the trail conditions an 8.3.
I agree. I give the trail conditions an 8. It's very easy footing. There's not a lot of rocks in the way. It's pretty much a level path the entire way up. So the beginning of the hike is a little disappointing because there was a recent fire through the area as well as some logging activities. So the beginning of the hike was a bit, It was a bit kind of burnt up and very heavily eroded with rain and no vegetation holding anything in its place. So the beginning of the hike is pretty disappointing. Although the middle of this hike is beautiful. It's some of the best forested area I've ever seen in Arizona. When we hiked it, it had just rained. It was monsoon season and it was very moist and there were mushrooms growing and it was very foresty, which is a lot different than a lot of the hikes you're going to get here in Arizona. So for that, I really, really appreciate this trail. But when you get to the top...
The top is rather disappointing.
Yes.
I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So probably the last quarter mile of this trail is along a road and it gets you to the top, and there's not much at the top to speak of. I think the better views are right before you get to the road. To get off the trail a little bit, you can see forever and it's beautiful and you're still in the trees. The top has a ranger station and all kinds of communication equipment. So it's not really that rewarding when you get to the top. I think it's better before you hit the road part to get off the trail a little bit, and the views are a lot better. So for that reason, I give the scenery a 6.1.
Yes, in fact, there is a road that you can drive up all the way to the top of this ranger station. And when we hiked, there was a parade of dune buggy vehicles going up that were on their way up to the top. So it wasn't very peaceful or rewarding once you got to the top, because a lot of people can just drive up there and check out the view. So I do agree with Kent. I feel because the beginning was a little barren and the top is a bit underwhelming, I do give it a 6 as well. However, the middle part of that hike is some of the best forest I've personally hiked through. So it's kind of a roller coaster type of a hike.
But very worth it. So let's now talk about the payoff. I rated the payoff a 6.2. We went to the Historic Brewing Company in Williams, Arizona, and the beer is really, really good, but the food is a little underwhelming.
So I disagree with Kent. I give the payoff at the end of the hike a 2. It was a really long hike. It is, unfortunately, Williams is a tourist town, so you have a lot of touristy trap areas, and they are not known for having good food, and it is expensive because it's right next to the Grand Canyon. So for me, the payoff is just, you're better off probably bringing your own beer and having a picnic at the park at the trailhead.
I would agree with Alyssa. I would recommend picnicking at the trailhead. There's plenty of room, and bring a cooler, bring your food, and you can have a much better time there.
And it's right there when you're done, so you can have a beer immediately.
Hopefully the information we provided will help you when hiking Bill Williams Mountain. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.